What's poppin', everybody? It's your boy SnowyKurama. Here we are for week 4 of the BRL versus GBoss and their Tennessee Torkoals. I was supposed to play this team in the LBL, the last draft league I was in. I thought that I had played them, but it turns out that we didn't, and that's when their replacement took over. So I was hoping to say, how I did and blah, 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 but it didn't happen. So let's just go ahead and take a look here. Smattering of league experience, peaking at getting 8-1 in a league, and then throwing playoffs is apparently the notes for GBoss. So that sure is something. When we were playing in LBL, they weren't doing so hot, but that's probably because of life thing is getting in the way, so it'll be very interesting to see how they do against us here without all of that happening. As you can see on the right side of the screen, that is where their team is, and somebody took a little trip to the Hisui region, so that'll be a very fun trip to go ahead and regale on with them. Let's just get in the builder already. We got Garch Brooks is back again. We got Tank Chomp here. I wanted to run a sort of offensive set with this thing, but I figured the 2 fire types that they have, it's probably not the best idea to do that, so Tank Chomp it is. We've got lefties over the helmet for some passive recovery. I feel like that's a little bit more important than some extra chip, so that we can just keep on switching in with this thing. Got some hazards, of course, with the Stealth Rock and the Spikes. We got Earthquake because their team is quite weak to ground. They got the Sneasler. Electrode and Voltorb both take neutral. Goodra's weak. And obviously they're 2 fire types, and they got a poison type there as well. And then Dragon Tail is just so that we can do some chip with the hazards, so you're forcing it. 160 no nature at all in there. That is enough for Adamant, Hisui, and Arcanine. And then we obviously have the max HP so that we can be as Tank Chomp as physically possible. And then 80 in Spadef, Careful Nature, is enough to take less than half from Timid, Hisuian, Typhlosions. I want to say Focus Blast was the thing that was strongest against us. And then the rest of it's just here in defense. So that is Garch Brooks for this week. Up next is Zap Don't. This thing's whole role here is to get rid of one of the dark types for one of our next members. Just a physical, not a physical, what am I talking about? Just a nice special attacker in here. We got Volt Absorb because there's the Electrode family that GBoss has. We are running Terra Fairy this week. It was Terra Fighting, but I figured, after talking to my pal William, that Fairy would be better for just resisting the Sucker Punch. Also, there's a Hisuian Braviary on the other team, and I feel like the team that I'm bringing is not necessarily the best that handles Hisuian Braviary. So, not being weak to that thing would be very good, just for any Pokemon that I have in general. Hurricane is here for Sneasler, or whatever wants to come in and take a lot of damage from a very strong Hurricane. And then Thunderbolt is here to hit Samurott. We got Volt Switch as well to do that, plus, just getting out when we need to get out. Roost for recovery options. We got Boots to avoid the pesky rocks that the Arcanine might be able to set up. 216, Timid is enough for the Sneasler. And then the rest of it's in special attack, and then we got the other rest of it in HP. Up next is Fish Passer the Vaporeon. This set, shout out to William for this set, man. We got the Covert Cloak, Wish, Calm Mind, Acid Armor, Restored Power. This thing apparently swept him 1 week in his league. And I was like, ooh, that sounds really nice. He said, wow, do it. He didn't, but that's what it felt like. We got Wish, Calm Mind, Acid Armor, Restored Power, obviously, like I said. This thing is just boosting up and then using Sword Power to just take out the rest of the team. They've got 2 Dark types, which is why we got Garchbrooks using the Earthquake, and then Zapdos using the Electric move, so that Fish Passer can come in and start just wailing on them with Sword Powers and boosting and all of that stuff. Wish is very good to restore HP on other members as well. Covert Cloak is there because Dire Claw Sneasler is a thing and it's not fun. And Max Defense, this basic bitch EV spray right there, because defense is the lower stat of the 2 defenses. And that is our Fish Passer. Hopefully this thing can get in a sweep. That would be funny. We got Algoro next, our Pangoro coming back in for week 4. Scrappy Band is here to kind of hit the Zoroark, because they do have a Hisui and Zoroark, otherwise we might just be Iron Fist. So now we don't really have to really pay attention to what we click, because no matter what, we're going to hit that thing. This close combat's now super effective because we can hit him, and then knockoff, of course, is always going to be super effective. Aerial Ace is here for the Hisuian Decidueye. Close combat also helps with the Goodra, just like with Garchbrooks' Earthquake. Parting Shot is here to switch around. We might be able to actually do that this week. We'll have to see. 152 speed Jolly outspeeds min speed Quillfish, which may or may not be min speed. Maybe that thing will have speed for our team. Who really knows? We'll find out with this thing for sure. Now the rest of it's just an attack to maximize our damage dealing output, and then we've got 104 in HP for some bulk. And that is Algoro. Up next, we got Rotom Heat, Miami Heat. You may be wondering why this thing has leftovers, and my reason for that is because I do not really think the Hisuian Arcanine is going to be coming with rocks. I am willing to take the bet on that with Rotom Heat over the Zapdos because one of them is bulkier than the other. We got Spadef Rotom Heat this week with Overheat, Volt Switch, Will-O-Wisp, and Defog. Will-O-Wisp obviously for the physical attackers outside of Hisuian Arcanine, also just for some good burn chip. Overheat is a nice move for Hisuian Goodra as well as the Electrode family and Decidueye, really just hitting anything that doesn't really want to take a neutral fire move, as Overheat is very strong. We got Volt Switch to get on out of there and we need to, and Defog because we are not bringing our spinner. So we need something for potential spikes, because they have a Hisuian Quillfish, and they also have the Ceaseless Edge guy, Hisuian Samurai. That is Miami Heat. Also, it's Spadef because of the Electrode and the Goodra. We had a lot of things for the physical defense, so now we need something for Spadef. Last but not least, we have Edelgard, our Mega Gardevoir here. Hyper Voice, Mystical Fire, Psychic, and Destiny Bond. Psychic is actually doing a lot of damage to all of GBoss's team that isn't immune. And then Hyper Voice just kind of does a ton of damage to the guys that are immune, so it's pretty dope. The one Mon that kind of stops this thing is Hisuian Goodra, so we have the Mystical Fire for that, so that we can lower their special attack. So they won't be doing as much to Edelgard or a potential switch out to somebody else. And then Destiny Bond is just in case we get in a tight spot, and we can just kind of kill something off right off the bat. 216, Timid outspeeds Timid Typhlosion, which is pretty good for us. I'm kind of expecting Choice Scarf Eruption, because that's of course what I would expect from a Typhlosion. But we will see. Just like everything, we will see. The entire plan here is to just get rid of the dark types and then switch into our Fish Passer on a good opportunity and just set up and destroy. Let me know what you think of the team down below, and I will see you for the battle. Okay, look at that. Look at that sprite. They got the live Wo Chen reaction. That's fucking crazy. Alright, we got the decision. We got 2 ghosts. We got both ghosts. No Arcanine. That's huge. That means we don't have to worry about rocks this entire game. We don't have to worry about hazards this entire game. Unless Hisui and Goodra gets them? Very confused. Wow, okay. We're gonna just lead Zap Don't then to get off our Volt Switch. That's nuts. Okay. The only thing that I'm kind of scared of is the guy there, the Hisuian Goodra. The Goodra. Yeah, one of those. The Hisuian Mon. That's the one I'm scared of. I'm Raw Hurricaneing. I'm Raw Hurricaneing. Let's get him. Let's get him. Screw it. Let's get him. I'm Raw Hurricaneing. Just Goodra? You get nothing here. Okay. So here's the question. Do I press a Volt Switch and reveal that I'm not choiced in the slightest? Or do I just hard switch? I think I'll Volt. Because good information on this thing would be very nice. %. What does that tell us about Hisui and Goodra? Against Zap Don't. Volt Switch doing 6 to 8. This thing could potentially just be either Assault Vest or some Spadef sort of investment. Holy shit, I don't know really what to do. I think Rotom is the guy to go out into, if I'm being 100. Don't do anything crazy. Ice Beam, that's not anything crazy at all. Just 10% with Ice Beam. Okay, let's look at that here real quick. We got Ice Beam for Hisui and Goodra. Doing just 10. So that's a low roll against our guy here. And that's an ad. I don't know what to think about that, if I'm being 100. I'd like to burn this thing. Pump does 56. That is also some good info. You have some Spadef here, but you're not Modest. %6 on Volt. Okay, this is probably you then. Going at the Fish Passer, probably not the best idea, but it's what we're going to be doing. Wow, okay, T-Bolts. So we're just seeing the entire ass set today. I'm going to Wish, see what he wants to do. This Bolts. This isn't great. This isn't great. Alright, now we're pressing Bolt here. I'm assuming... Okay, never mind. I thought that you were going to go right down to the Goodra. Unfortunately, I have a Vaporeon plan, even though it looked flawless here. I did not execute the greatest. I am sorry if my team builder made you think otherwise. My goodness. I don't know, man. I just didn't expect a Goodra to be putting in this much work. I was expecting the Dark types. I was also expecting the hazards. But I didn't get either one. So that sure is a doozy. Terra Fairy, more or less, is useless. No longer useless. We could, well, it really just depends on what this thing wants to do, right? Eruption does that much. Eruption still does that much? Wow. Okay. That's crazy. I thought... Oh, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. Fairy uses fire. I'm dumb. I could go out to Rotom expecting an eruption. I could go Vaporeon expecting an eruption, but if Vaporeon's damn near dead. Honestly, if Vaporeon's damn near dead and I do not have the move that lets me heal, not heal, we don't have Wish Protect, we might as well. We might as well sack this thing off to see what this thing wants to do. If it erupts, it erupts. That just reminds me of what Garchomp was supposed to do with this thing. Yeah, Eruption's not doing too much, but I'd much rather just get that in free to take one. And then potentially Quake or press the hazard button, if I'm being honest. The Vaporeon's a lost cause, very early. I should not have switched into that thing until the very end, for sure. So we see the eruption, obviously. So we go out into Garchbrooks here, and we press the Quake button because none of his mons really want to take it besides Decidueye. I don't even think it matters what we do. I'm probably just gonna press it. Yeah, I'm pressing the button. Decidueye comes out, takes 22. Takes 22. What are we looking at with Decidueye? We can just press the rock button, see what you want to do. Triple arrows. Does about 36 to be expected. We can go out to Zapdos on that if we feel like it. We could even probably go Gardevoir on that. Let's see what the don't wants to do. Ooh, wow! Okay, that's a lot of damage for no reason at all. Jesus. No reason at all. What about Goro? That's the part where I remember it's a dark type. I am thinking I'll just press the tail button. Wow! Critting! That's nice. That's nice. So here's the question. Do I press the Quake button expecting this thing to stay in? Or do I press the tail button expecting to go out into Decidueye? Only time will tell. Zone. 53 to 63, you're at 58. Do we stay in and just press the Quake? I mean, at this point, it's the only thing that really takes the Sneasler, but not really. Damage on this thing would be great, because you're only... Let's do it! You got the Decidueye. I had that thought in my head. I had the thought in my head that you'd do that, but I did not act on it. You liked to use triple arrows, so I'm gonna go Edelgard, expecting a triple arrows. You just roost. Alright, I'll press the Hyper Voice button, I suppose, unless you decide to go out into your guy here. If that's the case, I would love to know. I would love to know if you take a Hyper Voice from my thing. I feel like you don't. We'll have to see. Absolutely. Well, Mystical Fire is what I meant to say. 69. Yeah, we're just gonna press the fire. Akaberry. Okay. Well, at this point, we'll probably switch out into whatever we want on a sucker. We have this for that, don't we? Yeah, we do. We do. Sucker does 20. We hit the hurricane and Decidueye is gone. Unfortunately, that invites in the hell out of not that thing. You might be scarfed if you bring this in, or you're just betting on the 30% miss. In which case, are you safe? Thunderbolt's doing something. Let's just find out. Fake out, not fun. Let's press the hurricane button a second time, just to see. You are Scarf. Good information. Good information. You press Dire Claw. So I think that means I'm free to go Algoro. Well, I already did. And just press Close Combat. Oh, I completely missed that you're normal gem. I was about to say, what? Yeah, wow. Okay. This isn't good for me. Not even in the slightest, because you're just gonna press, the buttons of this thing now. That is indeed one of the buttons. This is it. This is all I got. And I don't got it. Okay. Well, good game to GBoss. I am sorry if I did not live up to everything, to be fair. This is past my bedtime, but all I can do is make excuses. GBoss earned the win. We are going into week 5, 1-3, unfortunately. Have yourselves a good day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.